Welcome you guys, and thank you so much for stopping by Galadon Gaming for a little more Clash Royale action. And today, yes, none other than a true 3-crown deck may be discovered by Peter $17. So go figure, this deck seems to be working out pretty well to counter a lot of the very popular cards that we're seeing right now post-update, and pushing for the 3rd crown, which is surprising, up at level 10 or so. It's not something you see nearly as often at lower levels. Now take a look at the right hand side. You can see the deck in question, and right away I noticed the fact that it has no defensive structures whatsoever. No Inferno, Cannon, Tesla, anything like that. So that could be problematic against certain decks. You're counting on the swarms of units, the minions, the goblins, and the barbarians to get big troops down as they come in. Maybe P.E.K.K.A. Double Prince could be a problem. We won't see that in today's video, but we will see some other counters, including the Royal Giant, which is extremely popular post-update. Now, of course, the Elixir Collector can be used as a defensive structure, but Peter is going to drop it way in the back here, and he's got a princess working on the tower. His opponent forced to drop a cannon to take down that princess. So in being a 3-crown deck, I think what we're seeing here is people that are just underestimating the driving power of a golem. If you can get a golem in one piece before it becomes 2 golemites to someone's crown tower, they are going to be in deep, deep trouble. The big key to the golem is the fact that it does cause that damage when it explodes. And so if you're countering it with some very fragile, small units, they're likely to be destroyed when the golem explodes. And now you've got 2 smaller golemites working on that tower, and it almost always seems to fall if a full-sized golem can get to the tower. Now, usually the Golem is a great card to drop during double elixir, during that final minute, or if necessary in overtime. You can see here Peter has gotten it to the tower and the minions and the princess, and together the tower is just vaporized. Because the tower had aggroed on the Golem, all of those minions were allowed to just go to work, and as you know, still probably my favorite card, the Minion Horde just wrecks when it is not being targeted by troops or a tower. The Golem had the attention, Peter moves on, and this player tries with the Barbarians, but it is desperation, and Peter grabs a 3-0, not even 3-1, a 3-0 crown win. And of course, Peter, always being classy and a good sport, drops the Raging King taunt at the end of that battle. All right, let's go ahead and move on to another battle. Here is Peter facing another level 10 player named 2 Iron. Maybe he should have brought a driver to this battle instead. But you'll notice that Peter is going to start out with the Elixir Collector, and it looks like this time he is going to place it in the back. Now, I've been told by Peter that where he places that initial Elixir Collector depends upon what else is in his deck and ready to be used as a counter should his opponent push, like it's happening right here. Royal Giant Hog Rider, and there it is, the key card. I think personally the best counter to the Royal Giant, the Barbarians. They just work right through that Royal Giant, and Peter though has taken a lot of damage because it wasn't just a Royal Giant, it was a Royal Giant combined with a Hog Rider. So a very aggressive push, the opponent taking advantage of the fact that Peter dropped 5 elixir right at the start of this battle with that Elixir Collector, and it was not out in front. It wasn't available as a distraction. The Royal Giant, the Hog Rider, both went right to work on Peter's tower, and Peter looks like he's at a severe disadvantage right here. He has got less than 200 hit points left on that left tower, and now he's got another Elixir Collector up, and that's the only thing keeping that tower from falling. Now the Golem intervenes, is going to grab the aggro of the goblins as it moves forward. So somehow Peter has managed to keep that left tower up, and again he has the Minion Horde and a Golem on the tower. He zaps the opposing minions down, and that allows just a couple of his own minions to survive. The tower aggro the Golem again. The left tower absolutely gets annihilated, and a full-size Golem is now on the King's tower. Peter smells blood in the water. He is moving forward. Barbarians go in. That cannon is a desperation attempt to stop this push, but this is going to be all over. Everybody amasses around the King's tower. 3rd crown, and wow, from a severe deficit, Peter suddenly comes back and wins this one again, 3-0. So in those first 2 battles, the key in both seemed to be getting the tower to lock onto the Golem and then getting the minion horde to lock onto the tower, and that just causes a massive amount of damage in such a short period of time. If you catch your opponent without an available arrow or a counter that can splash damage those minions, they are in big trouble. So we're into our third battle, and Peter starts this one out by splitting barbarians. This is a pretty good defensive move just in case you need to stop a quick push on either side. And notice the barbarians on the right-hand side. They're also going to do some work supported by the minion horde. Once again, just a few minions get in and several hundred hit points. In fact, over 1,000 hit points coming off that right tower right in the first 30 seconds of this battle. So obviously Peter sees the value of the minion horde. Now he's going to drop the elixir collector back in the back, but here comes the royal giant and he doesn't have the barbarians available. How is he going to counter this? It's going to be goblins and then the barbarians. So the barbarians were available. Second card, he dropped the goblins in order to pull up the barbs. The barbs get in, and again, royal giant down quickly, but not before a big chunk of health came off Peter's left tower. But again, barbarians by themselves getting to the left tower have brought that one to below 1,000 hit points, and suddenly both of the opponent's crown towers are severely damaged. And this is a big advantage for any attacker. If you can get both of your opponent's towers damaged like this, it does make it difficult for your opponent to be able to protect either tower very well. Obviously, the left tower well below 1,000 hit points, so Peter focusing on that one right now. The princess and the goblins trying to support that golem. The golem this time not going to make it to the tower in one piece, but it is going to get there eventually a little bit. All right, so just a few hit points off that left tower, a couple hundred more, and a princess going to work. She is going to get wiped out by the guards. They are on their way in. That could be a tough card to counter with those shields, but the zap spell allows the tower to one-shot the remaining guards, and in the meantime, Peter has begun another golem on the right-hand side. Royal Giant again on the left, but once again, the ultimate counter to the Royal Giant. He does get 3 or 4 shots off, but the barbarians wipe him out, and in the meantime, the golem working on that cannon looks like he could end up at that right tower in one piece. The minions again supporting. Fireball on the left, golem on the right. Peter going to work on both towers at the same time. Right tower falls, and again, all sorts of units closing in on the crown tower. It looks like the princess is going to finish off the left crown tower for the second crown. The minions moving in. Princesses all over the place. Barbarians. This is just ugly. Peter is going to wipe out this player. 3 crowns to 0 once again. And that was utter demolition, if I do say so. Well done, Peter. And let me know what you guys think. Is this a true 3-crown deck, or does it just need to be countered by something like P.E.K.K.A. Double Prince? I want to hear your guys' feedback, and thank you again, as always, for sticking around all the way to the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for being part of the hashtag GalaFam. Leave hashtag GalaFam down in the comments if you are, and I hope to see you all back here again tomorrow for more full attacks.
Jolly Dog,
Yes, Peter.
what do you say?
What do I say?
You're
welcome. You're welcome.
Fine.
Thank you.
You're
You're welcome.
Jolly Dog.
Peter,